Welcome back. It's time to run you through some of the front and some back pages this morning. And well, to do that with us, we have Mr. Lanre Adewole, who is the Lagos Bureau Chief of the Tribune newspapers. Thank you for coming on this morning.
And thank you for having me.
Let's start off with Daily Times. We'll get to the Tribune, hopefully, soon. Well, the lead story here. Buhari links MTN, others to 10,000 Naira Boko Haram deaths. And they've got a host of riders now. Says, refusal to deactivate unregistered phone lines breach Nigeria security. Will improve our relationship with South Africa on agriculture, solid minerals. Zuma calls for strategic partnership between Nigeria, South Africa. Says, talks on the return seized $9.3 million cash meant for arms purchase. So, the president of South Africa in the country and a list of items of things that are popping up upon his visit. What do you think of this visit?
Well, I'm more concerned about the security aspect to this whole thing. And when the president spoke yesterday, my mind quickly went to the tango between Apple and the US government. Yes, there are certain similarities between what is happening here with MTN and the Nigerian government and what is happening over there. And looking at it at a larger scale, I think government should leverage on this now. Everything that has to do with the nation's security is not about consumers now. Thankfully, with the coming of this government, some of those foreigners who are doing business in Nigeria are beginning to behave in code. But when it's about security, government should leverage properly on it. Whatever should be done, so we won't find ourselves in the position that U.S. government has found itself with Apple now. We should do now. 10,000 souls, it's incredible. And I will also say, I don't want to be particular about any company here because these are brands and. But I'm sure others. The president mentioned this because Zuma was in town. I'm sure other telecom firms and even some other companies that are doing businesses, they are also guilty of this. It should be a holistic thing. And who knows? Some members of the family of victims of Boko Haram, we also want to take this up and possibly sue.
Wow, that's it. Another angle you just brought to that. But let's look at this other headline. It's above the nameplate here. We were offered $1 million to impeach Fayose, but we won't. Ekiti lawmakers. Reps summoned DSS DG over invasion of Ekiti Assembly. Where do you see this heading?
Okay, Fayose, the president, it's been on since the president came on board, and there will be a lot of allegations here and there. So I don't really want to go into the merit or otherwise of this. But I'm just a bit worried that it is the DSS that is actually looking into what should be financial crimes, alleged financial crimes in Ekiti State. I mean, I think they should allow the proper body, that is the EFCC now or the ICPC, to handle this. Then, if there's any security aspect to it, then DSS should concern itself with that.
All right. Okay, well, there you go. That's it with Daily Times.
Well, let's see. You have something on the back page?
No, let's go on.
Okay, quickly, the Nigerian Tribune is next. That's your daily. Boko Haram MTN contributed to killing of 10,000 Nigerians. That's according to Buhari. Why $9.3 million seized arms fund has not been refunded. That's from Zuma. But looking at this other headline, 18 dead, 50 trapped as 5-story building collapses in Lagos. We detected structural defects before now, developer.
I'm sure by now the number will have been more than that, because at the point of going to bed yesterday, we just had to make do with what we could get. The NEMA guy just kept sending numbers, and at a point it got a bit sickening. When Lekki Gardens issued this statement yesterday, I was a bit disappointed, because if you discover what could, it said you don't allow your workers to stay beyond 6 p.m., on site and they shouldn't have taken shelter there. But we are talking about human lives here. There was a particular man from a country outside of Nigeria. The wife came visiting with the 2 kids. They only found the wife yesterday. And they should take responsibility. This excuse will not exonerate Lekki Gardens. Why did you not call in the government agency that should be responsible for the pulling down of the building? What were you correcting there? I think until we start making people to pay for human lives, until we place better premium on human lives in Nigeria, people will keep explaining things like this away. And I expect human rights advocates and groups to take this up with Lekki Gardens.
Well, I refer to CBN reduce interest rates, or governors will do it for you. That's another one there. And perhaps let's get your comment on that before we leave the daily.
Well, when I got this story yesterday, I was asking myself, how would governors do this? How would governors do this?
They've been threatening it for a while now. I think he takes the opportunity every time he meets with the CBN to, push that particular angle forward, that they need to reduce interest rates.
I would say maybe they should sit down with the CBN governor instead of coming to kind of open disagreement. They should sit down with. They are also stakeholders. The governors are also stakeholders, and I also know that they also do businesses, so they can do that and put everything on table. Look at the modalities. Wherever it's coming from, the governor is also worth looking at. But for El-Rufai, I don't know.
You have other headlines on the front page that you can just glean. Ekiti Assembly invasion, reps summon DSS, and Lagos sets up revenue court to tackle tax evaders and defaulters. Ricky Tafa, NJC queries Justice Yunusa. And on the back page, you also have sports today for you. That will be it with Nigerian Tribune.
Well, this day is next. I'm very amused about a particular headline I'm reading. I'm quickly going to go through the major headline here. Buhari, MTN fueled Boko Haram insurgency. They also have that story for you. Confirms telco in talks with federal government on 780 billion naira fine. Zuma, our country is working to sort out $9 million arms money trapped in South Africa. Page 8 is where you find details. Excuse me. They also have a news analysis for you. Zuma's visit offers hope for improved relations. Page 6 is where you find that detail. Nigeria's GDP slows to 2.11% in fourth quarter as oil sector contracts, on page 8 as well. But the story that's taking my attention this morning, President approves NNPC's restructuring into 7 units, 20 companies. Nigeria to stop importing petrol in 18 months, says Kachiko. And then you also find this one, House opposes new structure. Minister clarifies that state oil firm has not been unbundled. Well, you find out details on page 6. So what do you make of this particular story?
Well, for me, whatever they are doing over there should be about the people. When I was coming to your studio this morning, I saw motorists that spent the night at some filling stations down here. When we have this kind of situation at hand, it's not energy crisis, it is social crisis. When you take husbands away from their homes, and then they have to pass the night at filling stations, anything could happen at night. Someone could carelessly drop something and ignite the whole place. They should stop speaking grammar. All we want to see is we get to filling station, we get products, and we go away.
I'm also asking about that part where you see House opposes new structure. Minister clarifies that state oil firm has not been unbundled.
I think the problem is that the nexus that should be there between the executive and legislature has always been missing. And I would expect that with APC, the ruling party controlling the presidency, and there should be better synergy. But if you look at the history of the two men leading the National Assembly today, then you can keep having situations like this. propelled to power by the opposition party.
Well, they also will have that story. They have the story for you. Infant, 17 others die in Lagos building collapse. Page 6 is also where you find the story. That will be it for this day.